Welcome to Sideline Report. I'm Marvin Jackson. The Washington Commanders lose their sixth straight game, this time in Spain. And our Donna Hopkins was there, and we talked to her right after the game. All right, Donna Hopkins, live from Spain, Madrid, Spain, and hola to you, Donna.
Hola, Marvin.
All right.
I would have learned how to say when the Commanders won had they done that.
All right. Well, one good thing is, they lost, but we didn't have a draw like we had last time against Cincinnati in London. So at least there was an outcome. So, Donna, tell us a little bit about being there in Spain. It's the first time the NFL has had a game in Spain. And tell us a little bit about that. What went on when you got there?
Yeah, I think that Madrid, Spain, and all the people who made this happen, the NFL and the organization people here in Spain did a fantastic job of getting the city ready for an NFL game. You would have thought they had done this before. So I was excited about when I got here. I was staying in a hotel, the media hotel, and we were in the downtown area where they had everything set up with the Dolphins are the home team. So they had the stage and all of that set up for a fan affair. And then just the operation of getting the media to the practices, whether it was the Dolphins, the schedule was laid out so well. And even when we got to the stadium on game day, it was an easy process getting around and the layout because the NFL had designated a person for the media. So everything ran so smoothly. The people here in Madrid, just the activities for the fans, because it was a split of a lot of Commander fans, even with the record that the Commanders had, a lot of them traveled to Spain. And then, of course, it was a lot of Dolphins fans. And in the background, you'll probably hear a lot of cheering. That's Dolphins fans here at the media hotel. So they're happy at the outcome. But I just thought for the first time for the NFL to have them here, the stadium was fantastic. Just the whole layout, the way the field is as far as just flipping around. And we got a tour of the stadium before the game started. So you got to see really how they had that laid out and just the quality.
That is the soccer stadium for what they call football, but their soccer stadium for Real Madrid, their national team, right?
Yeah, and the energy is so great here. You had the Madrid fans here also for the game. It was, learning Spanish would have been really good, but you still got to get around without knowing Spanish. And like I said, you could feel the energy of the people loving to have the NFL here to see American football.
Yeah. Donna, talk about how the game played out. It was a loss, but there were some bright spots, right?
Yeah, I think so. From practice, Marvin, during the week, I got here for practice for a couple of days to see how that layout was. And I thought the team was well prepared for this game as far as Coach Quinn taking over the play calling, from just the players being over here and getting adjusted with the time difference because it's 6 hours ahead of back there at home. But, game day, the players get to the stadium. I think they were coming over here early was really good for them. And I think when you look at the game in general, we were looking to see how Dan Quinn would operate being the defensive play caller. And we had a chance, I want to go back a little bit, to talk to Coach Witt in practice last week also. That was the first time since this change happened. And his attitude was so great. I have to commend him taking this on the chin, because he said that when he was called into the office, he knew what was going to happen, but I just thought that he handled this well in moving on, with Coach Quimby and the play caller and his role now I just thought that his attitude was really great. So kudos to Coach Witt as far as moving on from this and getting ready for this game in Madrid. But what I saw from Coach Quinn as the play caller, he was really active in there. I saw him one time go down the bench to dab every player, every defensive player, whether you were on the bench, whether you were standing up. And even, when he was making calls and everything on the field and he was adjusting things where I saw Frankie Louvu. I think he missed a tackle that one time, or it was something happened, but he had stepped on the field. And before the next play started, he was telling Frankie, this is what needed to happen and so forth. So he was making changes on the fly. And this is the first time he's done it since he left Dallas. And then I know that Mikey Simmer still told me at halftime that Coach Quinn made a quick adjustment. I'm not saying that Coach Witt didn't do that, but he made those adjustments and they came out and you saw those adjustments. And with the defensive play, Marvin, this is the first time in a long time we can say that the defense gave up 16 points. And those 16 points was in some of them were in the overtime. But the fact that goal line stands, that they stuffed them. And this is the first time that, they didn't give up all of those explosive plays. And then they literally shut down Miami for the most part. So I thought they did a good job on there. I thought that the Commanders in the beginning of the game, they ran the ball because that's something that we've been saying, that they've got to run the ball, being that they're depleted as far as the wide receiver group some. So I thought that in the beginning they did that with Chris Rodriguez, and then they went away from it when they needed to. That 4th and 1, in the fourth quarter where I thought they should have ran the ball and they threw the ball because getting them down the field, they was running the ball. So I thought
Yeah, I thought that was a bad call.
yeah, I thought it was a bad call. And then the mistakes, Marvin, the mistakes killed the Commanders in this game. And McDaniels, I don't know why he didn't kick the field goal in regulation, but that was on him. But the muff, the muff by Mikey Sanders still, and he just said that, hey, he didn't handle that well. And then, it shouldn't have even gotten to that, Marvin, because 4th and 1, you should punch it in. And then Matt Gay, they got to do something there with the field goal kicker. He missed 2 field goals that could have won this game for the Commanders. So it's no excuse for that. And I thought that special teams that was supposed to be the stronger suit of this team, they had a major bobble in this game.
Yeah. Were there any things that happened in Spain that you think might bring this team closer together? Because, we talked about that. Remember the Titans moment where Coach Boone takes his team and they get together. He talked about togetherness. And you're saying that you thought that was great that Coach Quinn was on the field calling plays. And I'm wondering if this might bring the team together. Even though they lost, it might bring the team closer.
Yeah, I think I saw that in practice earlier because the question that I asked during the practice is that being over in Spain, how have you seen that elevate or help establish the brotherhood even more? And they said by being over there where, you didn't go home after practice, but you went to dinner with each other. You went to dinner, Mike Sanders still, with other people that you may have necessarily not went with, or, you just hung out with your teammates. So I think that has brought the bond together even more because they didn't have all these other distractions as far as we go home after practice. So you don't hang out with your team member. So for this whole week, you hung out with your team members. And I think, I asked him about going on this break because, it's the bye week and what did Coach Quinn talk about in this bye week? And he said, basically just, rethinking about this game and coming back better. So I think that this is the perfect time for a bye. But Marvin, they definitely should have won this game.
Yeah. And we're not thinking about playoffs anymore, but what could happen good? Like just like going like they've just lost 6 straight games. Is there a situation where maybe if they win about 4 straight games or something, maybe this will change everything for this team? And I do want to ask you, did anyone talk about Jaden coming back? this season?
Well, it's funny. Well, that's Coach Quinn said that will be decided after the bye week. But what you're going to get is Terry McLaurin came on the trip, and I saw him working out on the side with the coaches and so forth. So I think you're going to have somebody. Will Harris possibly could be back after the bye week, so that was going to help that secondary. So I think that you're going to get some bodies back after this bye week that you need to have back. But I think a game like this where I think the offense, you have to put a complete game together, Marvin, because when the defense plays well, then the offense only scores 13 points. And if you look over the last 5 weeks, this offense hasn't been putting up a lot of points. So I think that it has to be addressed some offensively. If you can get a Terry back, or if you can get a Jayden back, because you can get some continuity with your offense going, and with the defense, you'll get a couple of bodies back there. So if you can get some of those bodies back, this team could possibly win moving forward. I'm not going to say every game, but it can be much better to have these healthy bodies back, where you could see some better production of this team. But I just thought that Kingsbury, this game a little bit, I thought that he started off strong, and, it was some mistakes. And I didn't think that Marcus Mariota had a great game either, because I thought he struggled some in this game because he was off target. Decision-making some wasn't as smooth as it normally is. But I think that if you can get some of these bodies back, Marvin, you can see a better product on the team. But I think that they can take this game, because it was a lot of good things from this game. And I do love Coach Quinn, the energy that he had on that sideline play calling.
All right. And I guess the people in Spain, they got a lot out of this, you think, right?
Oh, let me tell you, this is one major spot that the NFL will be bringing games back, because because the layout of everything that they did this week, it was smooth sailing, I think. Yeah, as far as the people here in Madrid love American football, by the crowd that was there and the energy in that stadium. That stadium is phenomenal, because it's a soccer stadium, but it's made for an NFL team to come over there. So I thought that during this week in Spain, I've been out here most of the week. I enjoyed every part of walking around the town and just the way they had it laid out for the people to come here for an NFL game.
All right. And I was just about to ask you that. What do you like about Spain? And you're saying you liked it all.
Let me tell you, I'm an adventure seeker. So I took in every part of Spain. I hung out with Commanders fans. I tried to get the lay of the land to give people a little taste. So I was out in the town from sunup to sundown most of the time, just getting a feel for the atmosphere of that. I mean, everywhere you went, you had the Commanders signs and everything. The stadium store, the way they had that laid out for the fans. They gave fans that came over here for the game, whether you were a Dolphins fan, whether you were a Commanders fan, you had something to do in Madrid, Spain. So a perfect place for an NFL game again. And I enjoy every piece of it, except the Commanders didn't come back with a win.
All right. And I noticed you started out with rain in Spain, but it did end.
The rain, Marvin. The rain didn't stop me, because today it was perfect, because it actually didn't rain. It rained. It was a perfect day when I got here, but then it rained the whole day. But that was part of the experience. Rain does not stop me.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Donna, for letting us talk to you after the game in Madrid, Spain.
Hey, Marvin, I'll see y'all on the other side of the pond soon.
That's right. All right. Get some rest. I know you got a flight coming up in the morning.
Oh, no, thanks. Marvin, I'm staying over. I'll see y'all. I'm going to stay over and enjoy Spain a little bit more.
You're going to enjoy some more. All right. And bring back, maybe some of that language for us,
Maybe before
when I see you next time, maybe you can say something in Spanish to me.
Yeah, maybe I'll catch a couple of words before I come back.
All right. Thanks so much. Donna Hopkins from Madrid, Spain. Thanks so much to Donna. All right, that was Donna Hopkins in Spain. And right now, we are with Lou Holder, who's always here on Sideline Report. And we have a special guest, Donal Ware. And he is the producer, host of Box to Row, which is on ESPN Radio and Sirius XM. Welcome to the show, guys.
What's going on, Marvin?
Thanks. Right. Thanks for having it. Welcome, Donald.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Good to be on. Glad to be on. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for jumping in. And let's start off by talking about some of the things that Donna talked about. I mean, she's saying that, you know, it was a good fan support thing out there in Spain, and that the NFL did a great job of putting it together for the first time in Spain. And then also, let's talk about what went on. I mean, it was another situation where Washington loses a game that we thought in the beginning of the year, this is probably a game that they would have won. Let's start off with our special guest, Donal Ware.
Yeah, you know, you can't lose to the Dolphins. You know, you can't lose to the Dolphins. Now, we can talk about the fact that the Commanders have been injured, you know, all year long. But I mean, it is just, you know, there was so much expectation, you know, for this season. And I think it really started with the Commanders not doing right by Terry McLaurin. And so now you have all of this come about. They're not getting the football enough to Deebo Samuel, I think. They had a running game going where Chris Rodriguez went away from that. And so, you know, the Washington Commanders are in bad shape. And that was a terrible loss to one of the worst teams in the National Football League in the Dolphins.
Lou?
I mean, it's just a juxtaposition from last year. You know, they were winning games that many people thought that they might have lost. It's just so funny. Marvin, Donald, I did some comparison. So hear me out with this one. That Bears game last year with the Hail Mary. After that game last year, the Bears lost nine straight games and ended up with a 5-12 record, right? This year they play, right? And after that Bears game, the Commanders have lost six straight. Like, it's just that game has determined a lot in both seasons. A game, you know, and now the Bears have turned it around with Ben Johnson. So I say all that to say that the league is full of ups and downs. And I knew in training camp that it was going to take a lot for this team to get back to the NFC Championship game. I mean, everybody was touting them. I mean, you still got to play these games. And that Dolphins game is just a microcosm of the entire year. Games that they would have won last year, they're losing this year. And so your record is what your record is. I mean, even at the end of the game, though, that was just bad football. I mean, it was just, at times, it was just really, really bad football. But when that defense made that stop at the end, I was like, okay, all right. I mean, no one's going to forget. No one's going to remember what happened. You know, my golf buddies say it's a scorecard, not a postcard. Ain't nobody I care how you win the football game. But then you get down the field and your kicker can't make the kick. And then the interception. So it's just one of these things. There was improvement, though. There was improvement. I mean, I think Quinn coaching the defense, they looked a lot better with him coaching it. And they were able to run the ball better than they've had run in the past. But at the end of the day, they've lost another football game. I thought that comparison between, you know, last year and this year with the Bears and the Commanders and that one game that started the whole slide for both teams is just very interesting.
We can call it a tale of two seasons, two football seasons. That's what it is. Hey, Donna did mention that maybe they need to change the kicker. And they did. There's a new kicker, and that guy is he's Jake Moody from the Chicago Bears practice squad. And what do you guys think about that move? Is that going to be really, I mean, is that just a Band-Aid on this team, or what do you guys think, Donald?
Yeah, it is. I mean, look, the new kicker comes in and, maybe because to Lou's point, like it's critical misses. Some of these misses, and in particular, we're talking about the Dolphins game, was a critical miss. You can change the kicker, but there are many more problems on both sides of the football. Now, to Lou's point, yes, the defense did look better, but still, between the 20s, the Dolphins moved the football down the field. It's just that they couldn't put it in the end zone like they would have wanted to from the 20 on in. So it's just a lot that is wrong, that needs to be fixed with the Commanders. And the field goal kicker, I mean, that's, we'll see. I mean, obviously we'll see what happens once of course they have a bye, but once the next game comes around, if that helps. But it's not really many more problems for the Commanders than just the kicker.
The kicker thing to me is like having Joe Witt come from upstairs to downstairs. I mean, these are just patching problems that are more systemic, as Donald said, than just the kicker. I mean, that is just basically placating to the fans that, okay, we got to make a move. You missed the kick. We got to make a move. But there's so many things there. And, we don't want to make excuses, but this team is not playing with their multiple players. I mean, everybody, there's a lot of injuries that this team has had, but that's part of the game. That is part of the game. You can't make excuses. So I don't think the kicker is going to help.
Is there a front office problem? Did the front office get some things wrong? Because there are a lot of guys that they were expecting to progress and do some big things this year, and they have not. One guy can say, I thought he was progressing, and this is his first year, Trey Amos, but then he gets hurt. But some of the guys from last year and then some of the new pickups this year, I think you always talk about Ben Sinnott, Lou. He's hurt, I think. But, I mean, a lot of these guys did not hit. Donald, what do you think? Is that a front office problem or a coaching problem? Were they just not developed?
Both, because I mean, let's take Emmanuel Forbes. They didn't pick Emmanuel Forbes, but Emmanuel Forbes is now quasi starting for the Rams, who are really, really good right now. So they didn't coach him up. Anybody could have picked Jaden Daniels. Like, Jaden Daniels fell to them. What other players have you picked that have hit? So yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. And of course they've had some injuries. I think the Tunsil pickup was a solid pickup, right? They've had some injuries. They didn't address the defensive end position or the edge rusher position as I thought they should have. They didn't address the linebacker. That's an issue. The Marshawn Lattimore situation has been a disaster. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both the front office and the coaching.
I mean, I agree with Donald. I mean, I would say that, I thought Mikey Sanders was a great pickup. And I think his rookie year was very, very solid, but he's regressed. We've talked about that. He's not the same Mikey. I mean, he should have had that interception. I mean, that would have changed the game right there. He had an interception that he dropped, and then he was back there fielding kicks and everything like that. So there's a blame to go around for everybody. I just feel that on paper, when they were drafting, I didn't have any problems with the picks. I just didn't feel I don't feel that they've developed the way they should. You don't hear of any of the Adam Peters picks per se, but that doesn't mean that they're not talented. I just feel that I know where this team was 2-3 years ago, and I am so happy that they are where they are now than where they were before. So again, I think it's going to take some years for this whole roster to turn over the way they want to. But you got to be mindful of the whole thing here. Mariota was a great pickup. There's other people that have been on the field that have been solid pickups. So I just feel that you just can't really just start saying the honeymoon is over and they're bad and we should start looking about replacing Peters and Quinn and the coaching staff. It's been a bad year. It's come off a good year.
Things happen like that, and they've got to buy, and hopefully they'll begin to play better, and some of those guys might progress after that. But let's talk about some college football, some HBCU conferences, the MEAC, the SWAC, and the CIAA. CIAA, the winner was Johnson C. Smith over Virginia Union. I thought that was an upset. And then we have the MEAC. It's really a championship game coming up. South Carolina State and Delaware State are both undefeated in the MEAC, and they play each other for their last regular season game. And then maybe, Donald, you can enlighten us on the SWAC as to who you think is going to come out of the SWAC. But let's first talk about that MEAC game. And Lou, you can start out for about 30 seconds or so and tell us what you think about that South Carolina State, Delaware State game.
Hey, it's a win-win before they even play. I love the fact that Deshaun Jackson and what he's doing, and South Carolina State has just been a powerhouse. So as a football fan, I don't think that you can lose. And you also can't lose with Howard playing Norfolk State this weekend, too, Michael Vick and that matchup. I just think that there's a lot to talk about in that MEAC that is really fun this year.
Right. Talking about progressing, that league, those two leagues are progressing, the SWAC and MEAC, and so is the CIAA. They have two teams going to the Division II playoffs. That's big. Donald, we got about a minute or so.
Yeah, with respect to the MEAC, it's going to be a really good game. I mean, Delaware State leads the country in rushing, but they have not faced a front like what South Carolina State's going to present. And of course, South Carolina State is the defending MEAC champ. So it's going to be a really, really good football game. Can't really call it. I can't even give you a prediction. I just know it's going to be an outstanding football game.
Clinton Portis is with that running game. Yeah, you know he's going to take that challenge on Donald.
And that's one of Donald's favorite players, too.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
And SWAC, who you think is going to come out of the SWAC?
Yeah, I think it's going to. I like Prairie View A&M. I think, as a matter of fact, this weekend, Jackson State has got to beat Alcorn State to even get into the SWAC championship game. But I think ultimately Prairie View A&M comes out of the SWAC and wins the SWAC championship.
And for folks around our area, get on up there to Delaware. Check out that game. Clinton Porter said that all you need is a tank of gas. And
that's right.
2-hour drive. Come on up there, see that game. All right. Well, thanks so much, Lou, as always, and Donal Ware from Box to Row. Check him out on ESPN Radio and Sirius XM. What are the times that you come on Saturday, Donald?
Check me out Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern on Sirius XM channel 142, the HBCU channel.
All right. There it is. And thanks for being here with us, man, as always. And thanks to Donna for that great job she did out there in Spain. And just thanks to everyone for watching. So for Sideline Report, I'm Marvin Jackson. We'll see you in a couple weeks after the bye. Take care, everybody.